Welcome back to Basic Watercolor Techniques. This is part 3. We just looked at the wax crayon resist, and now we're going to look at the tape resist. This is a technique that has a lot of different options and avenues you can take. Here I just did a simple X with some tape. But you can also create birch forests really beautifully with tape, and create some mountainscapes I've seen a lot of students do as well. So I'm going to use the sections that I've done here to kind of show off some values that I've been working on with my blue monochromatic palette today. So on top of each, I've just painted a simple value change to explore the different properties that come when we're mixing in more water. And then I will be taking off the tape right away today to show you what it looks like. Typically, I would let it dry. Usually with washi tape, it's you're pretty good to take it off right away, but I like to make sure that all of the water has sort of settled ahead of time. But you see here, we have a beautiful X. There's really lots to play with. You can also create different techniques using some of those wet on wet techniques on each side as well. We're moving into another one of my personal favorite techniques, one that I'm sure you guys have done before, which is salt texture on top of the watercolor. So with this technique, you want to make sure that your paper is quite wet because the salt is going to absorb the water. So if the paint is not wet enough, the technique is not going to work as well as it could. So I went a little bit overboard with the water here, but I think too much is better than not enough. I have some quite large Himalayan rock salt here, but in class we will be using some table salt and also some Himalayan salt that's a little bit smaller. The size of your salt is going to impact the size of texture that's left. Other techniques that do the same kind of thing here are rice. You can also use sugar for a very soft crystallized look as well. All things, again, that you can find in our resist kit in the front of the class in our watercolor cart. Finally, like I said earlier, I would like to compare the wax crayon with the oil pastel. So I found here another orange to go with our complementary scheme. I'm just doing some quick mark making with some vertical lines. This is something that I love to do to warm up as well, if that's ever something you guys are interested in your sketchbooks. So you see here that the oil pastel works so much more effectively to create a really, really strong resist. So this is something that in my personal practice, I much prefer doing a oil pastel versus a wax crayon, although I probably haven't found the right material of that. Happy creating, grade 7.